So there we go right there. The 5 knives that make me happy. And man, I really don't know who I should tag for this, to be honest. I think I'm gonna tag Neve's Knives. I'll do my homie Backpack B.
Blades Beats Battlestar Galactica. Blades Beats Battlestar Galactica. Blades Beats Battlestar Galactica.
You are selling.
Where you going? He saw the knife. Don't you dare! Don't you dare! No way! Not for babies. Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Brent, aka Backpack B, back at it with another episode of Blades Beats Battlestar Galactica. So happy you're here. Thanks for stopping by. Got a jam-packed episode for you today. That knife that you just saw my son pick up is the Kizer Sheepdog non-flipper, a knife that I recently acquired in a trade with my buddy Sal, aka Libeardtarian. Here's his Instagram handle. Go check him out. He's a great guy. At first, I wasn't sure if I was going to like this knife because I used to have the flipper version of the Sheepdog and it just wasn't for me. But I got to tell you, this non-flipper version is amazing. Such a great knife that brings a ton of value to the table. Adding a thumb hole and removing the flipper from this design was such a dope move by Kizer. The action of this knife is terrific. It's extremely fidgety. I've always liked Kizer knives, but it just seems that as of late, they've been doing a stellar job with detent, action, tolerances, and all the models that I've picked up lately have been absolute guillotines. Aside from the Sheepdog non-flipper, two of my favorite Kizer models lately are the Pelican Mini and the Mojave exclusive Genie. All of these models are dialed in and smooth AF. So I found some titanium clips to replace the clips that they came with because I'm really getting sick of that one-size-fits-all deep carry clip that every company uses. I hate when clips feel like afterthoughts, and I would love to start seeing some more focus on clip design, especially in the budget market. Anyway, I'll link these 3 knives in the description below. You can't go wrong with any of them, so go check them out. Not a nice day out. You good? Today, me and the fam are going to check out a farmer's market in the town over from us and maybe a nice little trip to Target afterward.
Well, actually pretty nice little Saturday. We're gonna go to Home Depot.
Today I'm carrying a new Kansept model that I recently picked up. I'm not gonna lie, I've become quite the Kansept fanboy lately, and this one is mad fidgety. I also think the design is a tad polarizing. This knife is the Kansept EDC TAC, designed by none other than Mikkel Williamson. I'm a big button lock guy, so I had to test this one out. So far I really dig it. Kansept executed the button lock very well in my opinion. It's smooth and there's no lock stick, which is a constant problem with button locks. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section. Do you dig it or should I ditch it? Alright, let's go check out this little market. Yeah. Sounds good. That was fun.
Alright, yeah, it was fun.
See ya. Yeah. Buddy.
You like Target, huh? If you don't know about bitchin' sauce, you're welcome. Go get some.
All right, I'll do it. Aw man, here we go. Jokes aside, picking just 5 knives that make me happy out of my collection was tough for me. Knives bring me so much happiness and my style and preference changes daily. So a ton of knives in my collection make me happy. That being said, I think I nailed down the ones that are currently bringing me the most joy. In no specific order, let's get into it. Starting with number 1, this sexy beast is the Chaves Ultramar Redencion 229.
I almost feel like I don't need to describe why this knife makes me happy. Just look at this thing, man. Everything about it is badass. OEM by Rayot, this hand-rubbed satin finish mixed with an epic compound grind is easily one of my favorite blades on any knife. Just holding this piece in hand and looking at the design evokes this feeling of playfulness within me. And that's because this knife isn't super functional for an EDC knife. It's large, pretty heavy, and overbuilt, but that's what I absolutely love about it. It's an unapologetic hunk of titanium and M390. I can't tell you how many times I've come home from a long day at the office and taken my smaller office carry out of my pocket and picked up this beast. Flung it open with the flick of the thumb, and just hearing that loud thwack puts me in a better mood. The fit and finish from Rayot is perfection. In fact, this is the knife that started my obsession with Rayot made knives. I really should do a deeper dive on knives I own that were made by Rayot. Behind the scenes, I've definitely been collecting a lot of them lately. The list has gotten long, and it's all because of this knife. And the last thing I love about this design is the clip. Ramon Chaves is the only person that can design a skull clip and not make it corny, in my opinion. This clip is iconic in the knife industry, and I absolutely love it. It makes me really happy. Alright, moving on to number 2, this is the Benchmade 477-1 Emissary, an Osborne designed Benchmade that has an aluminum handle and an assisted opening. This is a knife that will always make me happy and will remain in my collection until I'm dead and gone. It was gifted to me by the groomsmen in my wedding right before I tricked my amazing wife into marrying me. They all came together to get this for me. They even got my wedding date laser etched onto the blade, which was just such a thoughtful gift from my homies. It obviously holds an extremely special place in my heart, and yes, we even cut the cake with this knife, which is amazing. Also, if I ever forget my anniversary date, I just flick this knife open and boom, good to go, I remember. Just kidding, but seriously. One thing functionally about this knife I didn't really like is that it's an assisted opening, which is not my jam. The good news is that I removed the spring and the pivot, and now this bad boy is a normal axis lock knife. This is by far the most sentimental knife in my collection, and I have an insane amount of great memories attached to it. It's a permanent staple in my collection. It's a knife that makes me very happy. Alright, moving along to number 3, which is a recent addition to my collection. This is the Hoback Sumo, and what else can I say other than I'm absolutely in love with this knife. It's probably one of my most fidgety knives, but it's also a super dope design that I carry in the pocket all the time. I remember when this knife was first released, I saw a ton of videos from Blade Show about it, and it was super hard to get, and on top of limited availability, it was also not a cheap knife. I would watch any video online that I could find, and I would obsess over it because something about the design really spoke to me. Cut to a few weeks ago, I had the opportunity to pick one up, and I just couldn't say no. This is a USA-made Jake Hoback design that feels modern and futuristic. It has a million deployment methods, top-notch materials, amazing fit and finish and tolerances, but above all, it's a button lock, and I'm a real sucker for a button lock. I don't know if you've noticed, but I'm a professional motion graphic artist, so I spend an insane amount of time at my computer. So this is my go-to knife when I'm designing something and I need a great fidget knife to mess with. It helps me think, it helps me come up with ideas, and I'm just very happy to have it in my collection, and I get a ton of joy from this piece. On to number 4, which is the Kansept Kratos. If you follow me on Instagram, you probably know that I've developed quite an obsession with Kansept as a brand. They're producing extremely well-made knives at a very competitive price point. One of the best designs that I got recently is the Kratos. It's an O-stop hell design. And yeah, I went for the in-your-face finish. A Damiel steel blade with carbon fiber inlaid titanium. The tolerances are amazing, it's extremely drop sheddy, and it feels like a knife that should be twice its price. I love so much about this design. I like how there's the pivot and only one other screw holding this piece together, and the scales have this open flow-through design. The blade design on this knife is terrific. Obviously, I'm a sucker for compound grinds on blades, and this blade is just dope. I don't always opt for Damasteel, but when I do, I really never have any regrets. I'm also using this Kratos to represent my love for Kansept knives right now. I have about 13 in my collection. I love the quality and the price point that Kansept has been putting out. One model that I cannot wait for is the XL Goblin. Holy crap, that thing looks sick. Next up, we finally made it to number 5, and I've saved the best for last in my opinion. This is the Holt Bladworks Haptic, a knife that a few years ago I would have thought you were crazy if you had told me that I'd have one in my collection. I really don't need to say much about this piece. I think that the milling detail in the design language totally speaks for itself. But this is a USA-made beauty that to me is drop-dead gorgeous. I love everything about this design. I love the milling detail throughout the entire piece. Everything is amazing on this knife. The tolerances are perfect, the ergonomics are perfect, the detent is adjustable, so perfect for anyone. The clip design is so well done, and in my opinion, perfect. The action of this knife is out of this world, and the hollow grind is, as you guessed, perfect. For me, this knife truly exemplifies everything that knives should strive to be. My brother from another mother, Sean, had 2 of these in his collection, and one day he was carrying one, so I got to flick it open a few times. Immediately, I was in love. So shout out to Sean for furthering my knife addiction and for selling me one of his. And the last thing I love about this piece is something that's really cool. Each one comes with a Solinco NFC card proving its authenticity. You download the Solinco app, hold your phone over this card, and it confirms its authenticity and also tells you all the details of your knife, which is so sick. I absolutely love it. I'm super happy to have it in my collection. And there you go, guys, 5 knives that make me happy. Thank you, and shout out to Ray from Everyday City Carry for tagging me. Now it's my time to tag some people, so I'm gonna choose 3. My boy Sal, aka Libeardtarian, who's starting a YouTube channel soon, so keep an eye out for that. The fearless teenage leader of the Black Widow pass-around group, Justin, aka Knife Dude. And finally, the homie Nebuqloud. I linked all these guys in the description. If you don't know them, go check them out. Their content is awesome, and I'm a fan of all of them.
You need to go to bed, dude. Kimmy! It's bedtime!
All right, so got this in the mail. Pretty sweet sticker. What are you alpacking? I don't know, it's pretty corny. I had to do it. Had to do it to him, and better believe it's all titanium. Let's get in here. Spoiler alert, I already unpacked this, but I just wanted to give you guys like an unboxing experience. And I was playing around with this knife all last night. But yeah, it comes in this little pouch. Look at that bad boy. It bit me. And yeah, this little thing is under the clip. Dude, it's sick. Look at that thing. Sheesh. I wasn't sure I was gonna like this knife. But I'm gonna tell you one thing that makes this knife a lot better. You know that I love me a removable thumb stud. You know? Not gonna lie. It makes any knife a little bit more fidgety that needs a little bit more fidget factor. And this one is just a flipper. You can flick it with wrist, but I want to thumb flick it, so let's do that. Now, a lot of times the blade stock is too thick to get a removable thumb stud on it. I use the Leatherman file and just grind this middle part until it fits the blade tang. This one, I put it all the way up there. Like I said, I had this out last night. I was playing with it.
That's what she said.
I think it looks good there. There's some knives that just work terrifically with the removable thumb stud. This is one of them. Amazing, dude. Just fits up there perfectly. And it's always the best when it doesn't take away from any of that cutting edge, you know, because it kind of hides up near on the flat up there, and it doesn't take away from any of your cutting. Maybe a little bit, maybe like a couple millimeters. No, see the plunge line is right there, so it really lines up nicely on this knife. One thing that I'm really aware of is that not everybody likes these removable thumb studs, and actually a lot of people think they're corny, but I gotta let my freak flag fly, yo. I love these things.
Removable thumb studs rule.
Removable thumb studs rule.
Okay.
Removable thumb studs. Removable thumb studs. Removable thumb studs rule. Removable thumb studs. Removable thumb. Removable thumb studs rule.